Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, UK Immigration. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we're going to talk about the massive UK crackdown on Islamist protesters and extremists, no visas, deportations, and a staunch stance against extremism. So, to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for upcoming videos. Without any further delay, let's jump into the video. The United Kingdom has embarked on a rigorous campaign to arrest and deport controversial protesters and preachers, particularly targeting Islamist extremists and others who pose a perceived threat to national security. This crackdown has sparked significant debate and concern among various communities, raising questions about civil liberties and the balance between security and freedom of expression. The UK government has justified its actions by emphasising the need to maintain national security, public safety, and social cohesion. Officials argue that extremist preachers and protesters can incite violence, promote hatred, and disrupt public order, thereby posing a serious threat to the safety and well-being of the general populace. By taking a hardline approach, the government aims to prevent radicalization and curb the spread of extremist ideologies. Now, let's look at some case studies highlighting the crackdown. One notable example involves the revocation of a visa for a Palestinian student at the University of Manchester. This student, Ahmad, made statements during a pro-Palestine demonstration that were perceived as supportive of extremist views. She expressed joy at the resistance against Israeli forces, which the Home Office interpreted as a threat to national security. Ahmad's comments, celebrating what she described as a historic act of resistance, were deemed to endorse extremist sentiments. Ahmad, a 19-year-old law student, has since launched a human rights appeal against the revocation of her visa, arguing that the decision is baseless and infringes upon her right to freedom of expression. She contends that her remarks were intended to advocate for social justice and that the Home Office's actions reflect a broader issue of discrimination against people of color, ethnic minorities, and Muslims in particular. In another case, a secondary school teacher was arrested for carrying placards depicting the Prime Minister and the former Home Secretary with coconuts, a gesture interpreted as a racial slur. The teacher defended her actions as a form of protest, claiming that such demonstrations are common in her country of origin and carry different connotations. However, UK authorities viewed this act as inflammatory and derogatory, leading to her arrest. The UK government's stringent measures have led to a polarised public reaction. Supporters of the crackdown argue that these actions are necessary to protect the country from the threat of terrorism and to maintain public order. They believe that allowing extremist ideologies to proliferate could have dire consequences, including radicalization and violence. On the other hand, critics see these measures as an overreach that infringes on civil liberties and unfairly targets specific communities. They argue that the actions of the Home Office reflect a discriminatory stance that undermines the principles of freedom of expression and the right to peaceful protest. The cases of individuals like Ahmad are seen as emblematic of a broader trend of marginalizing minority voices and stifling legitimate dissent. Let's explore the government's justification for the crackdown. The UK government outlines several reasons for its robust stance against extremist preachers and controversial protesters. National security. Extremist rhetoric can incite violence and terrorism. By deporting individuals who spread such ideologies, the government aims to prevent potential attacks and safeguard national security. Public safety. Hate speech and extremist views can disrupt social harmony and incite public disorder. The government believes that by cracking down on these activities, it can maintain public safety and prevent civil unrest. Upholding democratic values. The UK prides itself on being a democratic society that upholds the rule of law. Extremist ideologies that promote intolerance and violence are seen as antithetical to these values. The government's actions are framed as necessary to protect the country's democratic principles. The balance between security and freedom is a central theme in this ongoing debate. While the government emphasizes the need to protect the populace from the threats posed by extremism, critics argue that such measures should not come at the expense of fundamental rights and freedoms. Freedom of expression is a cornerstone of democratic societies, but it is not absolute. The UK government maintains that while individuals have the right to express their views, this right does not extend to inciting violence or promoting extremist ideologies. Critics highlight the potential for these measures to disproportionately affect minority communities, particularly Muslims. The perception that certain groups are being unfairly targeted can lead to feelings of alienation and marginalization, which may in turn exacerbate the very issues the government seeks to address. Ensuring that anti-extremism measures are applied fairly and without discrimination is crucial to maintaining social cohesion and trust in public institutions. Legal and human rights organizations play a vital role in challenging government actions that they perceive as overreaching or unjust. In the case of Aama, her legal team has filed a human rights appeal, arguing that the revocation of her visa is a violation of her rights. Such legal challenges are essential in holding the government accountable and ensuring that its actions are in line with national and international human rights standards. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video.